your elbow. There you go. You slip in like Nagi, but the elbow's forward and the hand's just pointing at his shoulder. You feel the difference because of the lack of oomph here.
Right.
Right? You've got to get the controlling hand in the fulcrum just right if you're not going to add this as the power.
So you just slide your hand down. I don't want you to too close right here. Yeah, because I shouldn't be this close right
Yeah,
there.
go ahead and slide to her other shoulder. Just, this is one of those kata, make the kata easier. So take this arm away from her and let that slide to her shoulder, then to her elbow.
Okay.
Good. That's it. That's right. That's right. You grab him here.
Here?
Down. You grab each other's elbow.
Okay.
And that's part of that stabilized thing. As he steps in, the elbow forward and hand pointing at his shoulder.
I didn't see that part.
Elbow forward.
Okay.
And the hand just points at his shoulder.
Okay.
So it's just sort of a hint of saying, like, this arm is not in a position to do anything. You would like to grab this guy up here because there's less slack between here and the center. Here there's so much slack that you have to take up and difficult. So you get here. You better get that hand away from it by pushing back and sideways and then grab his elbow. He grabs my elbow just as part of the kata. He stabilizes here. Good.
That's what I'm going to be in trouble with last time. I went too far with that. Good.
Grab right behind his elbow.
Right behind his elbow?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right there.
Makes a lot of sense.
Good. That looks great.
That's why you have soft knees. Yeah, you can slide it all in there. Stop right there, don't go any further.
Slow.
That's why you learn. Both hands up, going to the corner right there, stopping you right there.
Good. All right, Yame. Grips and hip height. All right, Damon, check this out. Check this out. There's a common tendency in beginner shoulder throws to want to take a grip with this thing. And they're like, how do you get a grip from there? And it's all contorted and crazy. And it turns out the grip is irrelevant. The grip is made with your bicep. This is for a regular hip throw that you would do in randori. You clamp here. And he's thrown basically around the corner of your body. So this thing just makes this hand especially irrelevant by forcing it into a strange shape where it's obvious that I'm not taking a grip here to do this hip throw. Okay. And hip height, the common theory that modern seoi nagis are based on is not only clamping there, but getting your butt crack low on the guy's knee so you can bust him. So there's a dramatic height difference. You don't see that in the old black and white guys. There's not much change of hip height. Shoulder throw sort of looks like a big spool that weighs a lot. And he hooks his arm onto the spool, and I take up all the slack and throw him off this way. Okay, so there's not a lot of hip height difference there. You see that same thing in Nagi-no-kata. You don't necessarily have to have this sort of posture for seoi nagi. So in this kata, when there's a hip height change that drives the throw, it's obvious. I mean, I'm going to put my butt down there if it's a hip height thing. So what drives this throw is more of taking up the slack and turning in, sort of like a big flywheel that you happen to catch your sleeve on. And it just takes up all the slack and it either pulls your arm off or throws you over there. All right. Play that a couple more times and we'll do the next one. That's
Right.
seoi nagi.
Okay. Now, in the context of the pickup thing,
In the context of pickup, it's the same thing, but you have to do it mediated so that you can control it. You don't. You still take up the slack the same way. We turn and we grab, and I take up all the slack and begin to throw you here. Maybe duck a little bit just to make the pickup easier. Yeah. And demonstrate that you can do the flywheel, but you can also control it.
is the slack.
Right.
And you're spinning in like a yo-yo spinning up. You're closing as you want.
That's right.
Winding them around their arms.
You keep that dominant hand out of the equation.
You're holding a big hammer in reserve.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. You get into your market comment.
That's the sword of Damocles right there. Yeah. It's like Sean Connery in Presidio. He says, I'm going to beat you up and I'm going to do it just one thumb. And it's going to be my left thumb because this one's too powerful. I love it. I love it. All right, Yame, one more little hint here. This is kind of interesting. I call this phenomena phenomenon, the tension wheel. You know, the blades under your riding mower, they're the axis on that engine, the axle is always spinning, but the blades are not always spinning. There's some slack in the belt so that the blades don't turn. Well, when you pull the lever, it takes a pulley and it takes all the slack out of that belt so that it engages the blades. All right. Here, if I grab him with so much slack here that when I start to pull, he starts to accommodate. Yeah, flexible like Aikido man, right? He's got so much slack here that it's hard to do something to him. You really see this, a great example outside the kata is uki-otoshi, right? I may not be able to throw him here because there's so much slack. So this hand comes in and I take the slack out with the tension wheel. And you have uki-otoshi. Same thing's happening in seoi nage. It's called nage, not otoshi, but it's an otoshi throw. All right, we get here. We turn, we catch, I take up all the slack, and I insert my shoulder and take up all the slack so that I can continue my turn and throw him off the side. But I don't continue the turn, I pick him up and control the thing. Here, relax and bend the, yeah, there you go. There's so much slack there that I'm going to have a hard time doing my hand throws to him. Seoi nage's a hand throw, right? There, I took all the slack out of that system. You can take all the slack out here. Right? You see that sometimes. Right? Or you can take it out here. All right, but you're pulling that lever and moving that tension wheel into that belt so that there's no slack, so that your motion affects his motion. All right, 1 or 2 more reps of that thing, and see, can you get the feel of catching, taking up the slack, and taking out all the slack as we get to here. All right, see how that feels. Wrestling, not real wrestling. But he also enjoyed getting in fights, and he got in lots of fights in high school and beat everybody up, and everybody was afraid of him. But he has aged and matured and grown up into a decent guy. And he came and played with me some, and just wanted to see what judo was about and what I did. I was trying to explain that tension wheel thing to him, and I said, all right, come at me. And he stepped in here, and I took the slack out of his arm, and he just lay down right here. And he's like, whoa, I can't believe you did that to me. Can you do that again? I'm like, yeah, probably. And he came at me again, and it's the thing out of Ju-no-kata right there. And that's probably the perfect example of that tension wheel. You have too much slack here to throw the guy. So you just take all the slack out. Okay? Run that 1 or 2 and I'll see what's in my ninja notes. See if I've left out any points. 15 techniques divided into 3 sets of 5 things. This is the 5th of the first set, so we're close to done for the night. Number 5 is another stabby hand in the side of the head. This one winds up looking like a combination of the first and the second things that we did. All right, so I'm standing here on my tape mark, and Evil Uke is over here. He does his 3-step stab thing while I'm waiting on the bus. And he stabs me right in the side of the jaw. Whoa! Now, how do you continue with that? Okay, instead of ending it here, You know how we can bar this guy's arm on the ground, whether he wants to bend it or straight it. All right. So he stabs me in the side of the face here. We get to here, and he bends his arms out of this thing. All right. So it's similar to number one in that he's doing the three-step stab thing. It's different because I'm not paying attention and get poked and have to roll with the blow. It's similar to number two, the shoulder push deal where you backed out and caught his hand. And it's different because instead of getting in this straight arm lock, he gets in this one. Okay, so 3 stabs in the face there. I think in some of the kata videos, you see the guy bend and you put it behind his neck, and some of them will hold it out like this. I don't especially like holding people up at the end of my reach, so I'll step under him and clamp it to my chest. There you go.
Come up.
It's thumb in the palm. Yeah, you just reach up here and take it off your cheek. Yeah, right there. Now you got the haneri right here.
Okay.
In your motion, you got the let him push you on the cheek. And,
before you grab it?
You can always reach up and like touch a mosquito that's on your cheek. So let him push you
Like a connection
and roll it. There you go.
What is this hand position here at the end?
Both hands are thumb in. So when you stab me, I put my thumb and grab your little finger.
Okay.
And when you reach in here, I grab your little finger.
Okay.
So we have haneri on both hands.
That's handy.
Yeah, well, you're changing the grip.
So when he pokes me here, you grab his little finger. Turn 180 degrees and break his little finger.
Then you get that.
Then you grab his other little finger. When
First I was getting it with the other hand and getting.
here I'm fixing to tilt him backwards and so hopefully he could get some slack there where he could move his hips and such. And I take control of him as he bends that to get some slack. Let's see how that goes. Sneak up on him.
Yeah, there you go.
Really have to keep
Yeah, that's important. Do the flow thing like we were doing on the push. That's right. Otherwise I miss it. Yeah, give with yeah, you're not even looking at the thing. So if I'm poking you in the side of the head here, you don't know where I am unless you look at it or unless you let me touch you. Right. Now you can grab that thing. There you go. So now we're back in something that you know. Because when I was doing that earlier, I was like, here. Right. That's one strategy. If you're not looking and you sort of sense it with your ninja senses, you can throw a grappling hook over it maybe. But you don't get the same thing.
I was feeling that.
And then
You're trying to phase with it. You just put your hand on it. Right? So if he puts his hand on me and I put my hand on him and let him push me, we sort of automatically lined up with it. Right? I've got you on this foot. So you have to move that one. Now I hold you on this one and loop you right there.
You know what? That's how you do that turn. What you were doing to me already. Extension.
You feel that power.
Because the guy goes with it. He's already doing this.
Mifune? Oh yeah? Same thing happened on Mifune. Yeah, he tells a story about a bar fight where they tried to cut him with a broken bottle.
It didn't work out too well for them.
I'm sure it did. He didn't have gruesome scars in his ancient videos.
No, he didn't.
The other guys in.
Other guys may have very good.
You know, that initial, if you don't just turn, if you extend as you're turning, she gets.
That's right. It's the same sort of feel as here. You're giving me some feedback as you yield, and you've already popped me up.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same thing here.
That is so cool.
The more he's committed, the more he's committed.
You know, something that was real interesting. I watched the deal on the mind, and this guy was showing. He says, you can compensate for your stuff. You can't compensate what the other guy does. And they illustrated. He said, "Okay, hold this telephone book in your hands. And try to keep your hands where they are. So you reach up, you grab the telephone book, no problem. Do the same thing again. The guy reaches and takes it out of your hand every time, even though you know it's coming. The hand comes out. So he says you're not helping the waiter when he takes the glass off of the.
Yeah, that's right. Well, a fun demonstration of that is take a little empty cardboard box, like a tissue box, and paint it to look like a brick. I'll walk up to somebody and say, "Here, take this thing."
And it
doesn't weigh anything.
It goes into anticipation of the way.
Yeah,
Right.
that's so.
I think Hopkins was talking about the same thing in his seminar. He was talking about, don't let me push you.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
folks will throw themselves into
Yeah.
that.
Anticipate that, contact.
Right.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that's
That
what.
sort of reaction instead of
Yeah,
all the
more of
internal
a
stuff.
That's
psychology.
well, you can get evil with that thing.
That's right.
Well,
That's really cool.
Especially if you wind it up, it's, when you make contact, then you make contact, then you make no contact, then you
That's right.
That's kind of sneaky.
All right, Yame, one more point and we're done. I poked Evil Man in the side of the head here. And he does his move to me. And he gets back here. And he stretches me. And I would like to get some slack. Well, I didn't get the slack that I wanted. All right. This thing, to me, bears a resemblance to release 2. Especially as we see it in Yan-kata. All right. We do this thing a million times, and you try to stretch the guy. And that stretching disconnects him from the earth and makes it kind of hard for him to turn around. We play a game in our dojo sometimes where we say, all right, okay, we're going to do release 2. And after I get behind you, you turn around and face me. Right? Okay. Go the easy way.
Okay.
Just to make it easy. All right. All right. Here, no extension. It was quick and easy for him to turn on me. All right. You have to mash with your feet against the ground to turn around. All right. You don't ever think about that. But yeah, you have to have some contact with the ground to do that. All right. So we're back to this thing. I poke him in the side of the head. He turns and he pops me out of the ground. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. So relax my arms and I get some contact with the ground, but he keeps that control. Good. You win.
Okay. Good.
All right, so if they let you extend, then you're doing release 2, and you're unhooking them from the ground, sort of hovering them there like in Yan-kata. If they relax those arms, they get some slack and they can do something unexpected, so go ahead and lock them in the opposite extreme. All right? That's the end of set 1. Y'all want to bow out and you can play with that thing however much you like. Let's circle.
Sorry, a rare opportunity. Pat, thank you so much. Awesome. Great work. Great work. There's not many people who teach this around, and damn few that I've ever heard that have the detail that you're offering for us.
Thank you.
And of course, results will vary, and this is the wrong way to do it. We know it's the wrong way to do it. We're going to do it anyway, so by God, thank you.
We're learning every wrong way to do the thing. So that you don't do that when the evil bad guy grabs you.
And I love how it dovetails with randori work that we're all familiar with. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll play set 2.